All right, what is up, everybody? We got some kind of exciting news, some bummer news, some more injury news coming from the Lions camp, but I want to start off with the news that the title suggests. And the title suggests that there is a rookie that nobody expected that is getting first-team reps. I'm trying to figure this out. I think I've figured it out just a little bit on why he's starting to get first-team reps based on a couple of injuries, but it doesn't matter. The fact that he's in that mix, he's a versatile player, so we're going to absolutely talk about it. We're going to go into there. My question is what is the level of concern for all of you with the injuries? The NFL regular season for the Detroit Lions starts on September 7th. That is 1 month and 1 day away. Most of these injuries are short-term, but is there any concern for you about the gelling? Is there any concern for you that the defense is reportedly consistently miles ahead of the offense? Is there any concern for you in that? Like, I'm really excited about the defense being good. I'm just a little worried about the offense. Now, part of the reason for that is no Taylor Decker on the left side at left tackle. I think that could be good. Another part of the reason is that defensive linemen keep playing well, and that is the guy that we're going to be talking about in this video. It is Keith Cooper Jr., and it has been reported, here you can see this on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And we're here, Sports Talk Detroit. Look us up, check us out, follow us. You can find videos there. Every once in a while, we're going to post content. Lions rookie DN Keith Cooper Jr. has been earning first-team reps and is marked as a player to keep an eye on, in quotes. This is per Tim Twentyman. All right, so this is a Lions beat writer. Tim Twentyman said that. He is not the only one who has said this. He's not the only one. Also, Dave Burkett, and Tim Twentyman said it. Dave Burkett also said it in an article that he had. Again, that's another one behind a paywall. But let's talk about who this guy is. Keith Cooper Jr. is a guy who played 4 years in college. His first 3 years, he played at Tulane. And then in his final season, he transferred over to Houston. In those seasons, the last 2 years, he got over 600 snaps at both Tulane and Houston, earning a PFF grade of 72.8 and 71. So I think it just makes the most sense. And I think, it makes the most sense that he is a guy that can play along the line. So he came out at the combine and measured at 6'5", 280. They're saying he's closer to 300 now. PFF, it's hard in college, especially with a school like Houston, to get specific places. But if you read an article according to Yahoo, all right, it says this. This is all based on 20-minute. It said, keep an eye on rookie defensive lineman Keith Cooper Jr. He's been earning first-team reps. He's lined up at just about every position along the defensive line during camp. He's made his fair share of plays. Detroit loves versatile players, and Cooper's versatility could ultimately land him a job on the initial 53-man roster. All right? He has done a ton of stuff. In this same article, it talks about how Cooper has played defensive tackle in college. He has played defensive end in college. And he has even played outside linebacker, which is just nuts to me with a guy at 280 pounds. Now, if you look at his relative athletic score, we talk about how that is a score that gives you what your level of athleticism is compared to other players. When he tested, he was put as a defensive end, and he got like a 4 out of 10. Which is not great. If he tested at a defensive tackle at his current weight, that would have been a higher grade. It would have been like the 6. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is his athleticism is enough. His athleticism is enough that I think he would be okay as a player. He tallied 14 sacks in college through his 4-year career. That's not bad. All right? And he played a limited amount of snaps at Tulane, but he had 3 sacks his first year, then 4 sacks each of his last 3 years in college. He got a good on pass rushes. It's interesting. You look at sacks plus hits plus hurries, and you get kind of this number, and then you get what would be a percentage of pressure rate percentage, and it was around 10%, which isn't good, but it's not bad from the interior either. So somebody to keep an eye on and watch in the game this Friday. Make sure you're watching him in the game this Friday against the Falcons because he'll be playing a lot along the defensive line. Find him, watch him, something really interesting to keep an eye on. Okay, let's also talk about some injury updates. All right, we have a lot of guys that are still, quite frankly, injured. So we've got Campbell offering injury updates, and my computer didn't work, so you're not going to be able to see it, but you're going to have to trust me. Terrion Arnold is expected to return to practice as soon as the Falcons game is over, so he'll be back next week. That's fantastic. Dan Skipper is expected to return to practice after the Falcons game. That's quicker than we originally thought. Ennis Rakestraw, it's going to be a while. That stinks. That one really bums me out because Ennis Rakestraw seems like a guy who could have the ability to be a good player, but he just has been consistently hurt. Last year, he was hurt and never seemed to be able to get traction. Now he's hurt here. This is, honest to goodness, starting to feel like a Jameson Williams situation where it's like, man, oh man, this guy is on a 4-year contract, and we're not going to see what he can do until year 3. Now, the good news, if everybody stays healthy, we don't need to see what he can do till year 3 because our starters this year are DJ Reed, Terrion Arnold, and Amik Robertson. So if those guys can continue to stay healthy, we'll be fine, but you need corner depth. So I want him to get back badly. Broderick Martin is undisclosed, and there's no status update at this time. This dude is not going to be on this football team. It's sad to say that's a waste of a third round. I think it was a third-round pick on Broderick Martin. I don't think he's going to be on this team. Guys who are still on the PUP list are Miles Frazier, Aleem McNeil, Mekhi Wingo, Malcolm Rodriguez, and Khalil Dorsey, while Josh Paschal is still on the non-football injury list. Now, these guys, when you have depth players or players that you know are going to be out a long time, having them on the PUP or going on a 4-game IR to begin the season is not the worst thing because you can put them on there and it allows you to keep another player on the roster in their stead, and then you figure out as things go. It allows guys like Keith Cooper Jr. to make the roster and then stay on the roster. It's good experience for them. So I don't have a big issue with that. But, you know, we've talked injuries and we've talked about all this kind of stuff. There's also somebody who came back. And one of the guys who came back is, again, I forgot that this isn't working, is Sione Vaki. And he already is looking strong in his return from injury. So excited to watch this guy during the preseason game. All right, here's what Eric Schlitt had to say. The Lions like to rotate 2 running backs through each of their offensive units, using Montgomery and Gibbs with the first team, followed by Craig Reynolds and Sione Vaki with the second team. All right, we knew Vaki was injured on day 2 of training camp. All right, and he was able to return on day 9. We just finished day 11. All right, so he was Detroit said that they were just taking precautions with him. They expect him to be a full go in Atlanta and is excited for his opportunity. I go back to last year. I remember Dan Campbell very specifically saying, hey, we want to get this guy as many possible reps as we can because he was a safety that switched over to running back late in his college career. We want him playing running back. And so for him, it's just simply getting reps. One of the best places to get those are joint practices and preseason games. Get them reps. Practice is good too. But the best place for a running back to get reps is when you have live bullets flying at you. And that's what he's going to get. Can't wait to see how he looks against the Falcons. The problem is, we have offensive tackle injuries stacking up like crazy. Skipper's hurt. Everybody's hurt. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.